Welcome to the Crawcast. I'm your host, George Krawczyk, and this is what happened at Saturday night's main event. And if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. And if you want my more immediate thoughts on wrestling and football and stuff like that, follow me on Twitter/X at Crawcast. And now let's get started. The first match was Randy Orton, who was accompanied by Jelly Roll, versus Drew McIntyre, who was accompanied by Logan Paul. And I'm gonna be honest, I just really hope Jelly Roll isn't the one that costs Cody in the main event of SummerSlam, because I have a suspicion that I was like, what if a different rapper comes and helps Cena every major pay-per-view? Like, maybe you could have Cardi B at SummerSlam and Eminem at Survivor Series, but I kind of hope that doesn't happen because, celebrities, I feel like you want them in a smaller stage where it doesn't really matter what they do and they're not, like, affecting the main event of things. That's why I think that Mania is so terrible. But anyways, so, also, I didn't realize how much weight Jelly Roll lost. Like, he's not necessarily skinny, but, like, he's definitely lost a lot of weight more recently. So what happened in the match is Logan Paul distracted Randy Orton, and then Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore on Randy, and Randy bumped like really weird. Instead of just taking a flat back bump, he kind of did a delayed bump, and I just didn't think it looked right. And then Logan Paul and Jelly Roll started pushing each other on the outside of the ring, which then distracted Drew McIntyre, and Randy hit an RKO on Drew McIntyre for the win. Logan then attacked Randy after the match, and Jelly Roll then punched Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre then hit a Claymore on Jelly Roll. So it looks like at SummerSlam it'll be Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. And honestly, I just really feel bad for Drew McIntyre. He was my superstar of the year last year, and this year he basically had a nothing match against Damian Priest at WrestleMania. Then he got injured, and now he's a part of a nothing celebrity match at SummerSlam. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good match, but it's hard to get into these matches with all these commercials because it's just that it's commercials. Like the action is broken up, and you just can't get into the feel of the matches because of so many commercials. And I think that's the problem with Saturday night's main event is just commercials, 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 and that feels like that's the story. And I also want to point out, in between segments, Naomi attacked Jade Cargill, setting up their match for tomorrow, and then Bianca Belair showed up and was announced as their special guest referee, and that should be kind of an interesting move because everyone always expected Naomi to be working for Bianca, and Bianca told Naomi to attack Jade, but that story kind of went nowhere, and it was never actually established that Bianca had anything to do with it. So it kind of seems like Bianca and Jade are both friends and baby faces, and they should be kind of teaming up against heel Naomi, who betrayed both of them, but who knows how that's going to go. But I think that was just setting up a match for Jade to beat Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, and then I think Naomi will cash in on Jade immediately after to win the title. So the next match was Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. And I just want to say, I was really surprised about Jimmy Uso. I'm not a huge fan of either Uso as like a Jay or Jimmy as a single star, but I felt like Jimmy really put in the work and really showed out and did well here. There was an amazing back German suplex spot on the apron, and also, when did Jimmy start being called Big Jim? Like I know at Naomi called him a lot on Twitter/X, but I just figured it was kind of more of just like a sexual reference and her being kind of edgy because she's this edgy heel character. So I don't know, it's just weird because the commentators just kept calling him Big Jim the entire time. So, and I also think Solo is a really good wrestler, and I kind of just feel bad for him because he had so much momentum, and it felt like they just kind of waited too long to break him and Roman up to the point where like his momentum faded, and then Jacob Fatu debuted, and it was like nobody cared Solo who because everyone loved Jacob Fatu so much. So Jimmy hit a nice corkscrew off the top rope to the outside of the ring, and then after that, Talatanga distracted him, and Solo rolled up Jimmy for the win. And this was actually a pretty good match, all things considered. I just really didn't like the ending because for me, I just don't like interference. I think it's a little bit overdone. But they beat up Jimmy after the match, and Jacob Fatu then returned and cleaned house. So I think this could be setting up for SummerSlam. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy and Jey Uso versus Solo, Sikoa, Tangaloa, and Talatanga. Who knows? But I think that looks like that's the direction they're going in. The next match is LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. And this match was kind of a nothing match, but the big news is Seth Rollins is injured. He tweaked his knee, kind of doing a springboard moonsault off the middle rope, and then they quickly went to the finish. I really hope for his sake that he didn't tear his ACL, and I hope he won't be out for a long time. And it looked pretty bad. And I don't think this is a work because when Seth tweaked his knee, he went down and they immediately went to the finish. And also LA Knight, when he beat Seth, should have been a huge win. And then he immediately ran away. He didn't celebrate. He really didn't do anything. He immediately ran away. And there was also no appearances from Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, and um, and that was just kind of that. And then Seth also got helped to the back off camera, and I feel like if it was a work, they would have showed us on camera him getting helped to the back. And then you can also even see a point where Seth tells the referee, tell LA Knight to go to the finish. Because again, once he got injured, he sat on the ground for a little bit, and then he got up, and then LA Knight hit the BFT, and the match is over. So I really don't think this is 100% not a work. And then I feel bad for Seth, because it feels like he has the worst injury luck. Think about it. He was having the run of his career after he won the WWE Championship at Mania. And then he got injured, and that completely ruined his run when he was wrestling Kane on a house show and he tweaked his knee. And then now he's doing a really great job with this new stable of Paul Heyman, and him getting injured might ruin this run as well. And if he is injured and he's going to be out for a long period of time, I'll be honest, I'd probably change plans and immediately fast track Braun Breaker. I would have Heyman and Braun turn on Seth, and I don't know exactly how you can do this, but I'm sure they can figure out a way where have some sort of stipulation where Heyman and Braun turn on Seth, and Braun is able to steal the briefcase from Seth. Kind of like when Mr. Kennedy got injured, they had a match where Edge beat him for the briefcase. Have something like that. And then I would say Braun's the new leader of the stable, and make Braun world champion sooner rather than later. That's all I can think of to do to try to save this at this point, because Seth is the leader and is the mentor, and if he's out for a long period of time, there's really no point of doing this with Paul Heyman and with Braun uh and with Bronson. So I think I'd probably make Braun the leader of the group, and it's tough because I'd make him the biggest heel in the company, but he is so good, people are refusing to boo him, so you really can't make him a heel. So it's just a tough situation, but I would try to put the briefcase on Braun if Seth is going to be out for a long period of time. And the main event was Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship in Goldberg's final match. So Goldberg took a few big chops from Gunther, and there was also a moment where Goldberg was going for a spear on the outside, kind of through the barricade, and Gunther ran out of the way, and Goldberg went head first into the barricade and banged his head right off the barricade. And so at one point, Goldberg accidentally speared the ref. And Goldberg did a really great job selling his knee throughout the match. He did a good job. Gunther then beat up Goldberg with his knee brace, and Gunther mocked Goldberg's son. Goldberg then hit a spear and a jackhammer on Gunther, and a new ref came out. Then Gunther put Goldberg in the sleeper hold, and Goldberg passed out for Gunther to retain. Goldberg actually did a really good job, and I was entertained. I thought he did a really good job for his final match. And I like that he put a lot of effort, and you could kind of see care in the match, because he's like, hey, if I'm going out, I kind of want to go out with a bang and get something that people like. And I kind of wish John Cena would put as much effort into his matches as Goldberg did in this one. And I also kind of really felt bad for Goldberg because in this match after the match he was giving his retirement speech, and the broadcast just ended in the middle of his speech. And so I get it, they're cut for time, but it felt like, I don't know if the match ran a little long or what happened, but It felt like Seth and LA Knight's match went short, so again, I don't know what happened, but they just kind of ran out of time for his retirement speech, so I do feel bad for him. But yeah, so all the matches here were actually pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good show, except for the Seth LA Knight match. Obviously, not either of their faults, but so overall, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you like about this event? What did you dislike about this event? And if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. And if you want to get my more immediate thoughts on things, follow me on Twitter/X at Crawcast, and I'll see you on the next one.